opening statement.
Thank you, Chairman. Today's markup of these two resolutions of inquiry is an important step in ensuring that Congress continues its important job of oversight over the executive branch. Let's be clear. What we are seeking today is transparency from the Trump administration and DOGE as to what they have done behind closed doors at agencies that carry sensitive personal information of every American taxpayer. We are looking for information. Passing these resolutions would ensure transparency in our government. Rejecting them would allow the executive branch to once again hide in the darkness from the American people this unchecked authority that they allege that they have. Let's state the obvious. There is nobody 300 years old receiving a Social Security check. It's important that members of Congress continue using every tool available to conduct necessary oversight of the Trump administration and for the good of the American people. It is both unclear and unsettling why DOGE continues to seek access to private confidential information at agencies across government behind closed doors while telling the American people something entirely different. No one should be rummaging through the confidential information of private citizens at any agency. Incidentally, if there's waste, fraud, and abuse, weed it out and get rid of it. Is there anybody on this side of the aisle that campaigned on the argument we're for more waste, fraud, and abuse? No chance. Privacy is next to liberty in our democratic system. Yet the president and his billionaire cabinet are jeopardizing that standard for their own power. And House Republicans haven't so much as raised an eyebrow about what's happening. Tens of thousands of people in the Veterans Administration being laid off? What has happened without any questions being raised by our colleagues on the other side? Americans should know that every time that their health is threatened and well-being of the American people is not being taken up by our Republican colleagues, they refuse to even raise the alarm. Let me applaud Ranking Member Doggett and Ranking Member Larson for their steadfast leadership in holding DOGE accountable and protecting the American people's private data. What we have seen over the last 7 weeks is unacceptable. Unaccountable and unelected people with no experience in the systems of government are rifling through citizens' data. Under the false guise of waste, fraud, and abuse, they are seeking to dismantle institutions. Let me tell you how this will work. People won't answer the phone because of these layoffs, and the Republicans will say this demonstrates that government doesn't work, after they went along with the layoffs of not allowing people to answer the phone. President Trump and Elon Musk should be answering the questions that members of Congress have, legitimately so, which we would have done with any other executive. This oversight is a fundamental responsibility of Congress, and Democrats are the ones that are going to step up, and we should be having our Republicans assist us. In fact, yesterday, our colleagues stripped this body of one of the most fundamental constitutional responsibilities, oversight of the executive on trade. The courts have spoken. They want limits on DOGE. They want to make sure that this information is not tampered with. Yet, as we have seen recently, DOGE representatives won't take no for an answer. The 24-year-olds are rummaging through all of your personal information. Now they're attempting to use a database at HHS as a backdoor entrance. Trump and his allies have made clear that the Americans' private and sensitive information is theirs to harvest whenever they want. All of this while our Republican colleagues remain silent, never asking one question. They're defending this evasive assault on privacy. For years, our colleagues have disliked Social Security. President Bush attempted to privatize Social Security. Now the argument is if we just lay off those employees because of inefficiency, so when those calls are not answered, they once again will blame Social Security for being inefficient. How about the idea that the richest man in the world called Social Security a Ponzi scheme and nobody on the other side raised a word? When you hear Ponzi scheme, it implies an illicit, illegal activity. Tens of millions of Americans, since Mr. Roosevelt signed that document, have benefited from an earned benefit. We are fighting to protect 70 million Social Security beneficiaries from an out-of-control executive branch, and we intend to protect the data of every American. The American people deserve answers as to what's happening to Social Security. Treasury and every other government agency has found itself in DOGE's crosshairs. You need to speak up on the other side. Ask some questions about where this is all headed. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.